hey, this is Owen Astracan, and I'm going to work on the recommender assignment. I'm coming to the snarfer. I'm snarfing everything. I might have just done this a second ago. I'll find out again. Oh, yeah, well, I'm just going to override it all. And here it is. I want to look at how to process foods.txt, because I think understanding how foods.txt work is going to help me understand how to do this getData function. So I'm going to write a getData function to process foods.txt. And the getData function, according to the assignment, has to do two things. It has to return a list of items, the different things that people are rating, and it has to return the ratings themselves, which is kind of a per rater list with a rating for everything, even if you didn't rate it. So for example, let's look at Will. I'm highlighting on the screen here. Will has rated 3 places, but there are a lot of places he hasn't rated. For example, Alpine, Armadillo, Waduke. So that he's going to have at least 6 different ratings. And all the users, all the raters, will have the same number of ratings. So we have to figure out how to make Will have, let's just say it's 6, however many different eating establishments there are. And we have to put those in the same order. So if Will's numbers are 111000, then the 111 correspond to the same things that if Tracy has 353, it must be, say, ABP, Alpine, Armadillo. Assume it's in alphabetical order. Then they'll all have ABP, Alpine, Armadillo. And we might not be able to know what those ratings are and the places for which the ratings are until we've seen everybody. Because at the very end, we might have somebody who's rated a place for the first time. And we're reading Samantha and George and Tracy and Will. And then we get to Will, and all of a sudden, he's eating at the Great Hall. We haven't seen that before. Or he's eaten at some place on Central, and we haven't seen it before. So we can't assign 6 ratings to Samantha if it turns out that we get a 7th eating establishment with Will. And we can either do that by reading the whole file twice, or by reading it once and storing it, or by some other way, but we have to come up with some method. So the first thing I'm going to do is go make a new module. I'm going to call it Food Reader. I'm going to make a main, and then we're going to go into play. I'm stopping for 1 second. Be back in a minute. So here we go. I'm supposed to write get data, and in this case, I'm going to give it one file name. And it's going to return a list of items and a dictionary of ratings. I'm going to call that DR. I'm going to have a bunch of code, and it's going to return 2 things. I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to call this function, and I'm going to give it the food name. So I'm going to say it dr gets get data, and the name of the file is foods.txt. I'm just going to print them. This is going to help me debug things as I go. And I also like to make things work early. So I'm running this. Where's my console? I got nothing because I have an empty list and an empty dictionary. And I'm going to look at this food file and think, okay, let's read this through. And at first, we're just going to find all the items. So I've got Samantha and a colon, and then a bunch of items, George and a colon, Tracy. So I'm going to have to split each line on the colon, the names on the left, and the info's on the right. Oops, so I'm coming in to do that first. So I need to open that file, and I try to get in the habit of whenever I open something, I close it. Do that early. For a line in F, I like to strip it just in case. That's a good habit to get into. Now I'm going to split it on the colon. So, and once I do that, looking back at foods, the name is on the left and the data is on the right. So I'm going to say name is the first element of that list, and data is a string, that's the second element of my list, and I'm going to split that on a comma. So I get all this, split it on the comma, gives me a whole bunch of strings, which is place, rank, place, rank. So data is a list of strings, so I'm going to make a little comment. Data is list of strings. Each string is place, rate. So now I'm going to actually break that apart, and I'm going to say that info is data.split, place is the first element, and rating is the int version of the second element. And I'm just going to print that out to see what happens. I like to print to help me debug. List object has no attribute split. That's on this line. Oh yeah, data is a list of strings. I can't split it. I have to loop over that. So I want to say for info in data, that's, I'll say for S in data, S.split. Alpine, Great Hall, Alpine, Panda. Alpine, Great Hall, Alpine, Panda. I only got the last one on each line. I don't understand that. I read a line. I split it here. Let me look at data. Maybe I'm wrong about what data is. Sometimes debugging's hard. So I got this line, I got this line, I got this line. So I printed data, and it's this whole thing. Now I'm supposed to loop over each element of that. That's a string. I split it. Oh, I see. My print statement is outside my for loop because I introduced the loop later. Ah, my indentation was killing me. So now I get all those ratings. Let's comment that out. Comment that out. Now I'm ready to get the ratings. So I'm going to make a set of places. And every time I get a new place, I'm going to say places.add place. Now, what I have is all the places stored in this set. I still don't have my dictionary. That's going to be each person. And let's remind you. So my dictionary is going to say Samantha, and I have to store each place she rates with its rating. And I could just put all those strings in there, but I have an idea that Samantha is a key in this dictionary. And when I'm done, what I need is just a list of ratings. But I have a preliminary step, which is going to be, there's a dictionary that maps places to ratings, place to ratings. So what I'm going to write a little comment at the top here that this is what I'm going to do as I process this. DR, let me make a comment. Key in DR is a name, and the value is a dictionary of places mapped to ratings. Let me say what I mean there. Samantha's the key. The value associated with the key in DR is a dictionary with armadillo and 3, APP and 3, Balduca negative 3. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say DR of name. I just read name for the first time, and that's going to be a dictionary. So the element in DR is now a dictionary. It says that value is a dictionary. Dictionary of places to strings. So as I read each one here, I'm going to say DR of name of place is the rating. And after I read that, just to help me debug, I'm going to print dr name. And I should get the ratings for every person. So, in fact, it might help me to say name, dr name. That's just an easier debugging tool. So Samantha has this dictionary associated with her. George has this dictionary associated with her. And you can see if I look back here, let's just look at Tracy, ABP5, ABP5, Waduk -3, Waduk -3, Panda is 3, Panda is 3. Now the order in this dictionary doesn't map the order on the line, which is fine. I have all the information. I'm going to turn it into something else. What the something else is, the final dictionary that I have passed back has to have a list of ratings, and everybody has the same size list. If there's 6 places, there's 6 ratings. So I have to put these places into some kind of order. So all the places are stored in a set. So I'm going to say it list is the sorted version of places, and then now I'm going to return that. When I run it now, I'll get the debugging statement for free at the end. Here's my list of places. Because I set, this is kind of a waste up here. I don't need to initialize it. I thought I did, but I'm just creating it right here. Sorted returns a list. And you can see here, I've got ABP, Alpine, Armadillo, Great Hall, Loop, Panda, Waduk. I don't have to return a sorted list, but I need to turn the set into a list. I could just call list on it. And if I did that, then it won't, it's not sorted. It's just in some order. But I like it being sorted. I might as well put some information in there. Now that I have that, I need to go through and change my dictionary for each name into a list. So I want these ratings to be in some canonical order, some standard order. And the standard order is going to be the order that it appears in it list, which is alphabetical. So I'm going to loop over my dictionary. Here's the purpose. I'm going to say for name in dr. And what I want to do now, conceptually, is ratings. I like to, sometimes making notes to myself is going to help. The purpose of this loop is to change the value associated with dr sub name so that it's no longer a dictionary, but instead it's a list. And the list is going to be the rating for ABP, the rating for Alpine, the rating for Armadillo, the rating for Great Hall, the rating for Loop. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to store the dictionary. So the ratings is dr sub name. And I'm making a note, that's a dictionary of ratings for dr name. Now I'm going to reinitialize the dictionary and say, now the dictionary is a list. And I'm going to loop over all the places. These are coming in alphabetical order. And if the place is in ratings, then I'm going to append the rating. And if it's not, that means I haven't rated it. I'm going to append a 0. And now I'm going to run that again. Actually, for debugging, I'm going to try to debug something. I'm going to say print ratings dr name. So let's just see this debugging stuff. Here are my ratings for the first person. That's Samantha. You can see that some. Is that Samantha? No. Maybe I should print name so I know who it is, because the names don't come out in the order you read them in. So, this is Will. Will has rated ABP, Panda, and Loop. And these are all his ratings. This is for ABP, this is for the Loop, and this is for Panda. Samantha has rated almost everything. The only thing she hasn't rated is the 0, 1, 2, 3 element. That's 0, 1, 2. So Samantha hasn't eaten at the Great Hall. Otherwise, 3 is her rating for ABP. Check. 1 is her rating for Alpine. Check. 3 is her third rating. That's Armadillo. Check. She hasn't rated the Great Hall. 5 is her rating for the Loop. That's the fifth thing. Let's see. Check. 3 is her rating for Panda. Check. And -3, she really doesn't like eating at Waduk. So now I'm going to come through here, comment out my print statements, because those were there for helping me debug. I'm going to run it one more time. I've got ABP, Alpine, Armadillo, Great Hall, Loop, Panda, Waduk. That's this canonical order of different items. And then for each person, I've got Will, Samantha, Tracy, and George. Each one of them has a list of ratings. All those ratings have 7 ratings because there's 7 items in my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe I'm good to go. I'll check it one more time, but that's how you write a version of Get Data. I'll make sure this is online. Happy eating.